Alrighty, y'all. Some Team USA basketball again today. 2-0. Yay. Happy for all the Americans. Hard to beat the one other team that I would probably really cared about in South Sudan. For those of you not paying attention or you didn't watch the last video, you should go watch it. We touched on South Sudan a little bit and the cool story behind like Luol Deng in this really young country, this really new country, and all said and done, them putting together a team. They've never had an indoor place to even practice before, coming out and putting on a good show again at the end of the day. When these guys played in kind of the preliminary rounds of like the Olympics, if you will. It's not technically the Olympics, but kind of like the preseason of it, if you will. South Sudan almost won. LeBron hit like a game-winning layup and everything, and that was it. And these guys, like, they didn't quit again. They put up a great fight in this one, and we want to give South Sudan a lot of credit, man. Like, it's an incredible story. They're going to be an up-and-coming FIBA force, most likely. So I'm really excited to see that. It's just awesome to see the game grow and to see people that care about it so much put so much effort and time behind it. You're inspiring a generation, and sports just bring people together in such a cool way like that. So awesome stuff. But let's talk about the game. Team USA today, Jason Tatum gets the start and gets to play after Steve Kerr apparently just kind of forgot to play him, I guess is the best way to put it. Tyrese Halliburton didn't get in either. I kind of figured Tyrese Halliburton was kind of seen as like the last guy on the team, so, you know, he's not always going to get in, and every single point matters in Olympic basketball because of the point differential rules, so it's important nonetheless. Yeah, no, Jason Tatum got in today, didn't do anything like too crazy. He was crashing the glass really hard, which is kind of a Kobe thing to do, where he always said like, hey, if you ain't gonna be a scorer, like, you can control how many rebounds you get, so go get some rebounds. And so I give him a lot of credit for doing that. LeBron, again, kind of putting the team on his back. It felt like whenever he was in there, didn't play quite as many minutes as he had in like previous games, but whenever he was in there, he was definitely very commanding. Steph Curry was rough in this one, the 1 for 9 you see on this screen here in the 0 for 6 from 3. He was getting open. Like, he was getting his shots and everything, and he was getting to the right spots. Just didn't fall today. Totally fine. It happens to the best of them. Devin Booker looked really smooth out there. It's nice to see, because I think a lot of us forget that, like, Devin Booker's, like, actually not a bad defensive player, and everybody, whoa, what do you mean? But then we all talk about it all the time. Yeah, everyone calm down for a second. Go look up some numbers. Go look up some film and everything. When they were in the finals and everything, Devin Booker was a really good defensive player. And so it's kind of come and gone depending on like the teams he's had around them in his career. Like last season, it wasn't very good. But like Devin Booker does have pretty high defensive capabilities at the end of the day, which we should remember when we're talking about the Suns later on in August or something like that. But nonetheless, Devin Booker played really well today. I thought AD and Bam were both awesome. You guys are seeing, like, what is it, 6 guys were in double-digit scoring. That's amazing. Anthony Edwards, whenever he was in, just felt like he was really giving it his all, so we love to see that. I've got a couple notes down here that I want to touch on in particular. Defensive effort was, like, really high on both sides tonight, but it's especially always nice to see that at Team USA when these guys all lock in and really, like, try on defense. Like, it is pretty dang hard to score on these boys, and like that's kind of what we saw in this. South Sudan did end up making some runs, and I'd say the intensity let up a little bit at the end of the third and maybe a bit into the fourth, but for that first half, man, they were smothering, and the only reason it wasn't like a blowout is because South Sudan was matching a lot of that defensive intensity and making it pretty hard for people to get away. Like, even like Anthony Edwards had trouble really getting like a lot of like isolation. Oh, there's a thunderstorm coming. I'm gonna try to record this before it gets too loud for y'all. Derek White, I feel like Derek White's just awesome, man. Does he need to start being in this conversation? Like, assuming, like, this level of play that he's at right now. Like, we're remembering the season, let's say he continues it into next season. This is the comment I want you guys to answer in the comments for me. Do we need to start treating him like a Draymond Green and just say he's in the All-Star game because we know the giant impact that he has? Like, we don't care about the stats necessarily, but, like, not that he doesn't put up numbers, but, like, look at this, like, 3 for 3 from everywhere. Like, the amount of deflections and steals and, like, little blocks and stuff and hustle points and stuff that he managed while he was out there is just, like, unmatched. And so when he's playing for the Celtics, I don't know. I just feel like we have to remember that in some capability. Anthony Edwards, again, let's talk about him. They gave him a lot more ball handling responsibilities today, which I think is great. That's the next step in Anthony Edwards' development, right? Is we've seen a lot of great things out of him up to this point. Could he be like a straight up primary ball handler now, a guy that can run an offense, that can be in those ISO situations and really create for the rest of the team and everything? Because he's still really young and he's still developing and getting better. So it's really cool in these situations with all these other stars kind of delegating that that to him and being like, all right, dude, your time to go run the show a little bit, young fella. Like, let's see what happens. So I think that's just an awesome thing to see Anthony Edwards doing. Let's welcome Tyrese Halliburton. Got into the game, went 2 for 3, hit a couple of tough 3-pointers to start it out. Awesome to see. Now, I know a lot of people are probably like, we wish Jalen Brunson or Kyrie Irving were out there, and like, I might agree with you on that, but like Tyrese Halliburton's an incredible young player we got in this league, and so seeing him get out there and score with the best of them and just being out there making a contribution and everything, we love to see it. If we can give a little bit of credit to South Sudan now, this boy right here, Qual, or however you say his name, this guy needs an NBA contract right now. I'm just saying right now, apparently he plays in the NBL, which is the Australian Basketball League. Apparently, like, dude's a nice shooter out there. Looks like he's got some good size. Maybe he was like 6'6" or something like that, but I was noting there, I'm like, look, tough as hell out there, showed some real handle at points. He was very poised while he was out on the court. Like, he wasn't just like sprinting at the hoop and trying to make things happen. Like, he was like really trying to dissect the team. He was shooting. I'm like, damn, like, I'd bring this guy to training camp and see what the hell is going on. Shout out like Carlick Jones as well. Like, he's really out there trying to do everything, and they were keyed in on him the entire time. But this guy Qual, I look at him and I'm like, I could see that guy suiting up in an NBA uniform. Like, somebody could use him this year in some capacity. He just looked like he understood what was going on, man. So I'm not saying he'd be like a stud or anything in the NBA, but like I think he can make a roster at the very least, and grow the game and be a great story nonetheless. That like somebody from the South Sudan team ended up getting a contract out of this, but like, I'm at least bringing that dude to training camp. So let me know if you want your team or whatever to bring in this guy Qual, or if you saw somebody else really do it. Like, this dude like Shayak was out there chucking. Man, he is fearless. This guy Amat had a really good game. It was great to see that out of him. JT Thor's on this team, which I didn't even like peep that at first. But when he checked in the game, I was like, oh, it's JT Thor. What the hell, man? How's it been? But yeah, no, a lot of credit to South Sudan in this one. It was a fun game to watch. It was never really like all that close ever. Like, it always felt like Team USA just kind of had it from the beginning, but nonetheless, it was a lot of fun. I expect South Sudan to give a run to like the rest of the people in this Group C pool play, which I have to think, like, what other teams are they playing? I can't even remember, but I know we've got another game on Saturday, I believe. Again, I think it's an early one, so I'll be covering that one as well. But hey, let me know what you think of Team USA, man. This balanced scoring it's a lot of fun, and this may not be the Team USA we necessarily wanted to see, but this is a pretty loaded squad. Hopefully, Anthony Davis, Drew, and Derek White are all okay. They took some tough shots in this one. I think Booker might have as well, but nonetheless, really, really fun game. Really happy to see South Sudan growing. Get this boy Qual an NBA contract, and that's all I got for y'all. But hey, thanks so much as always. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.